What's up, guys? Welcome to Chiefs Chat, episode number 63. And in this episode, we're going to talk about something that happened about a week ago. It was all over the media. It was a big thing, okay? I'm sure you guys know what it is at this point, okay? But the main message that I want to convey here, the main thing that I want to say, pretty much the only thing I really have to say at this point, okay? I told you so, all right? I told every single last one of you that this was not going to be a good signing, okay? Chiefs Chat, episode 2. It was the second episode I made, and it was absolutely flawless. Everything I said in that episode was absolutely true. Le'Veon Bell was not a good signing for the Chiefs. And here's the thing. There's a whole nother level to this situation that I did not even consider. That's how bad the situation was with Le'Veon Bell. In that episode, I talked about how he wouldn't fit into the system. We already had 3 very, very solid, talented running backs. We did not need Le'Veon Bell whatsoever. It doesn't matter how much money we're paying him. We didn't need it. And that was obviously true. He did absolutely nothing for the Chiefs. But then you take a look at the relationship he had with the front office. It was absolutely atrocious, all right? And I didn't even talk about that. I did not even take that into consideration. That's how god-awful Le'Veon Bell was. I mean, he was horrible. Me, being an absolutely incredible, intelligent human being, not even I could see how horrible of a signing this really was. I mean, I knew it was bad. I knew it wasn't a good idea, okay? But all I have to say, all I should really need to say at this point is I told you so, okay? To anybody who doubted me, okay? I'm not gonna flip you off. I almost did. I kind of felt like I wanted to, but I'm not gonna do that, okay? But still, to anybody that doubted me, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, you guys suck. I mean, I was obviously right, okay? So, let's talk about the situation. I mean, I'm going on a rant here, but let's just, break this down and really talk about the situation, okay? Obviously, everybody knows about the initial tweet that Le'Veon Bell made. Someone on Instagram was like, oh, dude, are you signing with the Chiefs? Because if you do, you might get another ring, which is probably true. He's probably going to get a ring if he signs with the Chiefs again. And he replied with this. I mean, he said, I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, I would rather retire than play for Andy Reid. I mean, what an absolutely senseless claim. What an absolutely ridiculous statement. That's just stupid. And obviously, there was a lot of backlash, towards Le'Veon Bell. But I want to get into, the response. First thing I want to talk about is, I've got it all pulled up right here. The first thing I want to talk about is the response to all this backlash. Okay, I feel like for context reasons, it's better to go through this first. Okay, so I'm going to read off exactly what he said. I'm going to make sure to put it on the screen. But here we go. Okay. This was the first tweet that he made in response to all this all these accusations, which, rightful accusations. I mean, people had, a very, very good reason to go on to, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it was, and accuse Le'Veon Bell of being a horrible player. They had a good reason to do that. But here's his response, okay? I said what I said, and I don't regret it at all. For those who have a personal problem with me because of what I said, that's fine. You have your right. Just understand I also have my right for how I feel about my personal problem with the dude because of what he said to me. So the first question I have in response to this tweet is what was it that Andy Reid could have possibly said, to make him upset? Because he said that Andy Reid had said something to him. And we all know, I mean, Andy Reid is the most fun-loving guy on the planet. I mean, he just loves cheeseburgers. I don't understand what the problem is. I mean, Andy Reid is incredibly sexy. I don't know what he could have said to Le'Veon Bell that made him upset. And frankly, I'm beginning to think that he didn't say anything at all, okay? But anyway, moving on, okay? Never did I say I didn't enjoy my time in KC because I loved my time there and was probably the closest locker room full of players I've ever been around. I enjoyed my teammates, the city, food, the fans, just about everything in KC. And this doesn't seem true, all right? Based on what I know at this point, this absolutely doesn't seem true. And we're going to get more into that in the tweets that I read, a couple of minutes from now, okay? Because there's a lot of tweets. I'm going to go through a lot of, social media stuff. But yeah, straight up, this does not seem true to me. I don't think this is true, all right? So next tweet he made, I'm not about to get all into depth on why I feel the way I do, but I have my right to feel the way I feel. The only thing I would change is commenting how I really felt on social media. Now, this was the tweet I kind of had some respect for, okay? He has his opinion, all right? Obviously, it's a ridiculous, senseless opinion, but he has it, okay? And I can respect him for that. Everybody, has their right to an opinion. I'm not going to say it's wrong. I'm not going to say it's right, but I am going to say it's kind of ridiculous. And I do kind of respect the fact that he admitted it wasn't a good idea to take it to social media. It really wasn't. If you're going to have a crazy, dumb, seemingly, ridiculous, opinion about anything. Not very smart to take it to social media, especially when you're a professional football player. We're going to get into why that was just a horrible idea in a couple of minutes. There's a lot to unpack here. But next tweet, I'll admit that's something I could have and should have kept to myself, and I apologize about that and that only. But I don't regret what I said because that's how I feel. Again, that's his opinion, whatever. It's wrong. Well, I'm not going to say it's wrong. It's ridiculous, it's senseless. But yeah. And again, he is admitting that he was wrong for taking it to social media, okay? Next tweet. So you can love me or hate me, I'm just gonna be fine regardless. I'm just giving you a small version from my point of view on why I said what I said. So I don't know. It's weird. Le'Veon Bell obviously responding to all the accusations, and he's not, kind of at this point he's got kind of a bad rap out, just because he's just not not really viewed as a team player at this point. Having problems with the Pittsburgh front office, and then obviously having problems with Adam Gase, which, at that point, I wasn't too worried about him having problems with Andy Reid, because having problems with Adam Gase was probably pretty easy. He was a horrible head coach. But I did not expect this. Frankly, I didn't. Maybe I should have saw it coming because he had problems with both of the teams that he was playing for. But no, I didn't see this coming. Andy Reid. If you can't play for Andy Reid, if you can't find a way to fit into the system with Andy Reid, if you can't stay on that team for more than a season, you can't stay anywhere. I'm sorry to say, Le'Veon Bell, but your career is over. It's got to be over, right? What head coach is going to look at Le'Veon Bell and say, hey, I want him on my football team? Because number one, he's washed. He's not playing very good football. And number two, he's having so many issues with the front office that it's like, if he can't fit into the system with Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and Andy Reid, where is he going to want to play? Like who is he going to want to play for? What other option does he have at that point? It's just confusing. So I don't think, Bill Belichick, whatever, I don't know. I don't know who's going to want to take him in. But whoever it is, I don't think it's going to be anybody. But if they do want to take him in, what are you doing? He couldn't fit in the system with it. He couldn't stay. He couldn't even stay. He wasn't a very good piece. He didn't really fit the scheme of what we were trying to do. But he couldn't even stay on the football team for more than half a season. That's the issue with Le'Veon Bell. It's plain and simple. Okay, but let's take a look at some of the responses by, NFL players talking about Le'Veon Bell. First one I want to talk about is Tyrann Mathieu. These fellas will blame everybody for their lack of success. That's how I know I'm built different. And, that's kind of a big shot right there by Tyrann Mathieu. That's kind of a boom. And here's what kind of ties all this together, because Le'Veon Bell talks about how his teammates were great, he was really close with everybody in the locker room, and he loved everything about Kansas City. Well, that's not very evident in this tweet right here. Tyrann Mathieu, obviously on the team last year. Shouldn't they have been close? If Le'Veon Bell, was really being honest about that statement, shouldn't they have been friends? Why would Tyrann Mathieu be taking this big shot at Le'Veon Bell if they were like that? I'm not sure. I really don't know. But Tyrann Mathieu, respect to him. I think Le'Veon Bell, he might be doing just that, blaming other people for them not being able to succeed. Le'Veon Bell had an atrocious season. So, he might be looking at Andy Reid like, oh, this is your fault. No, it's not. It's not Andy Reid's fault. Maybe it's his fault for signing you, for agreeing to have you on the team, which he probably shouldn't have done. I'll be honest about that. But it's not his fault that you're not playing the game of football like you used to. It's really not. You're just not performing. Sometimes that's all it comes down to. Next tweet I want to look at, okay? Mike DeVito, Big Mike, okay? I'd come out of retirement to play for Andy Reid again. I like that tweet. That's funny. Who wouldn't want to come out of retirement? I would play for Andy Reid for free. Next tweet, okay? We're going to talk Tamba Hali, okay? Tamba Tunes, that's his handle right there. I'll ride the bench again to be on Andy Reid's team. The most caring coach by far. He doesn't even talk XO. It's how are you doing? You wouldn't be in the league if you couldn't play. Now, I understand why you took care of me late in my career. I would be in a wheelchair by now. That's coming straight from a former player who played under Andy Reid. He talks about how he's extremely caring, Doesn't even talk X and O's, when it's just personal one-on-one conversations. He's talking about how you're doing personally. That's just great. Taking a look at the responses from this whole, dramatic mess. I don't understand how Le'Veon Bell could have had an issue with Andy Reid. I just don't get it. It's I guess, you just had to be there, I guess, to really understand what's going on. But even the people that were there don't seem to understand either. Tyrann Mathieu being like, what's going on, man? I think you're just blaming other people for you not performing well. And I mean, that could be exactly what he's doing, He was extremely successful in Pittsburgh, but for some reason he had a problem with their front office. When he went to the Jets, he was very, very underwhelming. He was not good at all. And so he's going to sit there and blame Adam Gase, which might be a valid accusation. But then going to Kansas City and blaming Andy Reid, that's where you've crossed the line. That's frankly ridiculous. Especially when Andy Reid's looking at his running back room and he sees Le'Veon Bell, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Darrell Williams, Darwin Thompson. I mean, you've got guys. You've got guys to throw in there. Le'Veon Bell is not going to get every snap. He should not have expected to get very many snaps. Ridiculous, okay? But anyway, I just wanted to talk about the whole Le'Veon Bell situation, get you guys up to speed. And that's it, okay? Thank you guys for watching, all right? I'll see you guys in the next Chiefs chat. Peace out.